And we are live on this special Wednesday night. I want to thank everybody who has joined so far. I hope everybody is doing well from Sunday evening and had a wonderful time watching and enjoying the Super Bowl. I hope you had a lot of fun enjoying the game itself, because a lot of people thought the game was going to be a just a blowout in the Rams' favor because of their lines on their side of the ball with it. And I'll be honest, I rooted for the Bengals. I thought the Bengals were going to use every trick in the bag at that point, and we saw a little bit of that throughout the course of the game. But I did not expect it to be a blowout with it. I do once my co-host joins, and I do think uh, I didn't agree with the Bengals play calling for the last like two play calls of the game with it. I think they could have potentially tied it up. I don't know if it was going to change the outcome, but that all being said, besides that, I do think that besides the game, what else? Halftime was a fantastic show. Halftime just was so many artists, some of them. And I finally reached that point, guys, as the joke has been from people who have watched the Super Bowl, that I'm finally in that age bracket for unironically for the halftime show, because I knew all the music, everything like that with it. It's like, oh. So that was great. And then commercials were hit and miss at this point, like they are usually every year. There were some good ones. It basically came down to Bitcoin and crypto commercials, Marvel trailers, and some movie trailers. Don't let them fool you. Do not let them fool you. Do not be pulled in by the what's it called? By the baby raptor. So, and look who it is. Look who it is who has joined us tonight. Justin, how are you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. How's everything been for the past couple of weeks? It's been since late December since we were last on a Wednesday show.
Feels like it's been a lot longer than it, hasn't it?
I know people have just missed us talking about our fantasy group and a Super Bowl. So I know tonight you were going to watch basketball, but then you're just like, this ain't going the way I thought. Just like my entire Sooners and their basketball team, we're just going to clap the last 7 minutes of the game. You know, we're just going to not play the game, let everybody else win, and risk our chances going to the NCAA tournament. But, you know, that's just standard. What's happening with your Grizz tonight?
First, so far in the first half, it looks like they're playing in the mode where like they're ready for the All-Star break. Portland's just playing a lot more energy at the moment. I'm not sure what the score is. I turned the game off about 5 minutes ago. I'll probably turn it back on when the stream is over. But I even tweeted that I'd get a crowd together by the time I turned the game back on.
Yeah, probably. We had it where it was for Sooner basketball. It's just been they've been able to get into halves going into halftime, taking the lead against Kansas, against Texas, against Oklahoma State. And it seems like the last 7 minutes of the game, they just collapse every single time, my dude. Literally, there was a tweet that came out today from KREF here in Oklahoma that was like, hey, so how can we increase the attendance with the basketball games? And I went, how about you not lose the Heartbreakers? I'm just saying that's step one. Step two is decrease the ticket price, because we're at Lloyd Noble, which is a dump at this point. It really needs a complete renovation, or they need to move it to a new location, maybe up to Oklahoma City even. But I'm like, a 6 p.m. tip off in 5 o'clock rush hour, where it's one of the busiest parts of Norman, that's just not a good thing. But regardless of it, it's the same thing. So welcome to basketball. Basketball is just boring for us this year at this point with it. Justin, how else has everything been? I heard you playing Pokemon Arceus in the background, as have I. I'm not going to lie. I have invested over 40 hours into that game already.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had it on that loud.
Oh, no. More the merrier, man. More the merrier. What? How far are you?
3 Guardians in.
3 Guardians. Oh, gotcha. So you've beaten that Caesar Cleaver.
I mean Cleaver, Lilligant, and Arcanine.
Arcanine, that's it. Yeah, I was trying to remember the last two. I'm like, can't spoil.
Arcanine's killed me a couple of times, but I finally beat him.
Yeah. How was speaking of which, before we delve more into Super Bowl stuff, the season, fantasy football, how else have you enjoyed what's it called? Not you got our snow. Did you have a good snow day? I think it was like last week.
Well, we didn't have power. Well, parts of town didn't have power for like a couple of days. I couldn't meet for 2 days.
Oh, I didn't know that. Boo, that sucks. that really sucks. So, what all did you do then? Did you have any batteries? Did you have any backups?
Well, I stayed at my friend's house who across town who still had power, and don't be shocked when I say this, but I was planning on spending the night at his house. I still did, but about an hour or so when I got there, my mom told me the power was back on.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what is it? Death taxes, and of course that thing that never would happen. It's always a guarantee. Always a guarantee. Monkey paw, man. Monkey paw. So, but hey, everything's melted. Everything's good to go. Now it's like tonight we're looking at some thunderstorms here in the area, probably coming rolling around here at 1 a.m. And I was cracking the joke at work. They're like, "Do you think it's going to be loud?" And I'm like, "It doesn't matter. If it is, and there's a tornado, my time has come. I ain't getting up for a tornado siren at 2 a.m. These tornadoes need to respect my sleep time and my schedule, man. After midnight, no. But it looks like that. But let's delve right into it, Justin. Let us delve right into it. So, Super Bowl. The Rams beat the Bengals in a very close game. Before you hopped on, about a minute before, I was mentioning how I had the Bengals. I wanted the Bengals to win because I thought they were going to pull out every trick in the bag. This was the game to do it, even though the Rams had the better talent. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout. I know a lot of people who are predicting anywhere from 7 to 10 points. I'm like, no, this ain't happening with it. I do, in my opinion, I do think the Rams less won and more just based the other team making mistakes, it seems like at this point. Kudos to the Rams. Like they made it all the way, but it did seem like every single time, whether it was San Francisco, I want to say it was Kansas City, and then the Bengals in their last like series of play calling and the flags. It seemed like everything from that like built up to it, and they just took advantage of it. So, what was your thoughts of Super Bowl? Was it a much better game than you thought it was? Did you wish they did some other stuff? Were you surprised that? Did you check off on your bingo card that Joe Mixon was the first Sooner in history to throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl? And is there a quarterback controversy? I'm kidding on that. There is no quarterback controversy. But what did you think of Super Bowl, buddy?
You would bring up that Sooner note.
It's. I never thought it. It happened with him against Kansas State back in 2016. I think it was 16 or 17. But it was just a neat thing to see. Like, oh, this is kind of cool for us with it, even though they lost. Like, it's kind of neat. So, what did you have any investment? First off, how did you think of the game? Second, did you have any investment in either team at that point?
Not really. I didn't have a bunch of investment in either team. I thought the game was honestly it was fine. I guess it wasn't bad, but it was. I was a bit on the ending was pretty good.
Yeah, the ending was different because the ending you had all the flags, which to me threw off the Bengals' momentum and the play calling at that point. It was very close. I'll even say, man, it wasn't the quarterbacks that were the MVPs of the game. It was either, in my opinion, for the Bengals, it was Joe Mixon, or for the Rams, it was Cooper Kupp. Like there was no middle ground at all. Unless you disagree and you think that they had some better ones.
That's fair enough. I honestly think you could have considered Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that too. But you said you didn't have really any investment in any team where it's just kind of it was there. But overall, you said it was a very consistent game. What about commercials? Any commercials that stood out to you? Because I mentioned prior to you getting on, I'm like, really, it came down to crypto. Some commercials hitting there that were there, and then Marvel and / movie trailers. And don't fall for the baby Velociraptor. It's still going to be the same thing.
I guess that one with all the miniature football players play football. Those kids' house was pretty funny.
Okay, that was funny. I agree with you. I thought that. What about I honestly like the Marvel one. The what's it called, Justin? The Disney one with Disney Plus, and they had all the goats, and they're like, "This is the greatest." And I know what they were doing; they were flexing totally, but having all the baby goats was cute. I'm not gonna lie, that was an adorable commercial. Everyone can judge me; they were cute goats. What else, Justin? What else did commercials were good? Actually, one I have to say, I liked it a little more than everybody else, but I did like the McDonald's commercial. Because I'm guilty of it. I think that was a good one. What about you? What else? What other commercials?
I'll be honest, I didn't pay full attention to the commercials because I was kind of at a quote unquote Super Bowl party, and what was going on for part of it was like one of my friends brought a TV over. I was watching my friends play Super Mario Strikers, and it got really intense. So I was only half paying attention to the game and half paying attention to the commercials. So yeah, like I said, I mostly like that NFL commercial with the miniatures. I'm just trying to, though. I didn't say it was a good commercial or anything, but I do remember seeing Dolly Parton in some commercials.
Yeah, yep. There was a couple of them. I don't recall them off the top of my head with it, but yeah, there was some Dolly Parton. There was one that I laughed at, the Lindsay Lohan commercial. I'm like, that was about 10 years too late already with it, but it was funny. I think the one that cracked me up was outside of the Rocket Mortgage with Barbie, the Dreamhouse one. That was actually too meta.
Oh, right.
I liked the Dr. Evil one. That was funny with GM. That was a good one. It will be baby me. And that was great. I like that one. Commercials you didn't like. Which ones did not like, Justin?
I don't say I didn't like it, but like this is like reaction. This is like one of those commercials where maybe say, really? I want to say, you're really gonna bring back the E-Trade baby?
Yeah, I could see that. Mine was all the crypto commercials, like,
well, that's
Fortune favors the brave. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Nobody wants your shitty NFTs. That's my one for the night. Nobody wants your NFTs, guys. Quit pushing it, which goes into another topic entirely. But that being said, I laughed because that QR commercial, the QR code one, I was laughing because I'm like, I know exactly what this is. This is a crypto commercial that's going to get you to go something like donate to me or go get your crypto for it. I'm like, watch everybody scan that on their TV and then get upset. I'm like, this is why we have security things at work. Don't click links that you don't know where they're going. Don't scan QR codes that you don't know they're to. That was terrible. And I will say, even better, I like the premise until the very end. Now, Justin, I have a legitimate reason, a true legitimate reason to hate LeBron because he endorsed crypto. I have a real reason now. I respect LeBron's talent, but I now have a legit reason to hate him.
Well, yeah, I can see why. I mean, he that's what they renamed the Staples Center. So I see why they made it.
Now, here's one what we have not discussed. So we best talked about the best of those, the worst. Trailers. That's their big prime time to show movie trailers. There was Jurassic World, which to me, Jurassic World literally is a carbon copy of the new Star Wars trilogy. It's the first film looks like it's a retelling to get the new fans in, while also showing to the old. I'm going to say doing fan service to the older crowd, the older generation. Then the second film was all about reinventing it, except it wasn't very popular. And now they're doing a third one to try to bring everybody back in and basically repeat the same process. It's the exact same thing. It is literally the same thing. And it even has a baby velociraptor. They're trying to pull you in with nostalgia. Don't let them pull you in with nostalgia. It's going to suck.
That's pretty much what I felt like a lot of the trailers and commercials. They try to pull you in with nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, some of them were funny, but some of them are yeah. Now, I will say the flip side of it, and I know people have their own opinions about Disney, but dude, that multiverse of madness for Doctor Strange looks fantastic. I'm not going to lie. I was watching, I'm like, oh, this looks neat. We're getting some of the stuff from the What If universe. Oh, this is getting intense. Then all of a sudden, when I heard the sweet, sophisticated, manly voice of Patrick Stewart, I'm not going to lie. I may have screamed a little bit in my house. Wait, it's finally canon. We're bringing the X-Men in, boys. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I saw the joke the next day, but I was already thinking it's like Xavier turns to Tobey Maguire and went, hey, look here. I'm the first MCU movie now. Oh, goodness. But yeah, that looks good. What do you think? Are you going to go see it opening day? COVID withstanding?
I don't really see many movies opening day. I guess I'll probably wait for what a lot of the reviews say. I'm really behind seeing Marvel stuff.
Oh, I am too. Like on being on time and everything like that. But hey, you have time. You have 25 films and like 6 miniseries. You know, you're good.
I'm probably not gonna watch all the miniseries, but probably not all. They're past movies I never saw.
Like which ones?
Well, while I know about some of the stuff that happens in them, I never saw Iron Man 2 and 3. I never saw what else did I not see? I never saw the first Doctor Strange movie, but I heard about what happened in that. I still might see that anyway, just for the visuals. Let me see. Let's see. I saw both Guardians movies. I haven't seen I haven't seen the newest Spider-Man movie yet, but I heard that's really good.
It is.
Let's see. I never saw Avengers: Age of Ultron, but I pretty much know what happens in that.
So Iron Man 1 and 2. You could. I mean,
no,
Iron Man.
Two and 3. I've seen the first one.
2 and 3. Really, yeah, you're not missing too much on number 2. I mean, it introduces War Machine, but that's kind of it. 3. Yeah, I mean, you could skip 3 in my opinion. I mean, it didn't move me one way or the other. It didn't do anything. Age of Ultron gets better when you see everything they did down the road. It's a setup movie. So at the time it was like very boring, very much talking, very much type of what do you say? World building. There wasn't enough action for it. I think they didn't keep the Avengers together long enough for that. Now that being said, with it, I enjoyed it. It is what it is. And then you mentioned Doctor Strange. You have to watch Doctor Strange. That one's important now for it, especially with Multiverse of Madness coming in. What else have you not seen from Marvel?
I'm not even gonna get to I haven't seen a single miniseries, but let's see. I'm trying to see what the rules are. I never saw Captain Marvel, but that movie looked kind of boring to me.
Unless they do something with it, I still haven't figured out what the purpose was outside of having someone on the same power level as Thanos. I don't know. I'm still asking that myself outside of doing some setup with it. I just don't know. Unless they're trying to develop something else, I just don't. But yeah, so go ahead.
I haven't seen the first Captain America movie, but I've seen every other one.
You need to see the first one. The first one sets it up. You do need to see that one.
I have seen one scene. I've seen one scene from that movie.
The one that everybody knows with it when he comes out of the tube as Captain America.
Yeah. Like where was where like it looked like it was gonna be too much for him. They told him no, keep it going.
Yeah.
I've seen that part. It comes out of beefcake.
Well, you still, yeah. Well, then you've seen a couple. There's a couple you need to see. I would still recommend, but definitely Doctor Strange, for that. But now that all being said, there were some other trailers. There was Nope. There was Ambulance. Oh. Ambulance looks completely silly. It looks dumb. It looks like your standard Michael Bay movie. It looks so dumb. Then of course there's the Lost City. Lost City. It doesn't move me one way or the other. It could be. There was airplane movie. Tom Cruise. Top Gun. They showed that one too, as well with it. But I saw that trailer a while back in theaters, with it. So there's some stuff coming out now. All the commercials aside, the game aside, what do you think of halftime?
The halftime show is probably the most entertaining part of the whole night. I'm not even a big rap guy. I really enjoyed it.
I'm not either, but I did enjoy the halftime show. The halftime, to me, it got better as it went because it started off with like Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg's music isn't different for me. I'm not for it or against it. It's just not my cup of tea with it. But then once they started getting to like Dr. Dre, I think it's Lamar. Lamar, is that it?
I can't think of Lamar.
Yeah. Him. And then what's her name? I'm trying to remember everybody's name at the same time, Justin. I'm sorry.
Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige.
Thank you, Mary Jane. So it kept getting better and better as it went, in my opinion. First off, I'll finish it. Once I didn't realize it, so you can laugh at me. I didn't know Eminem was going to be there. So I grew up listening to Eminem while we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, and all of a sudden when I heard the explosion and heard the music, I'm like, what? Flopped into the living room and like, it's Eminem. Mom spaghetti. Go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's I didn't watch with my mom, but I figured she would at least like. I know my mom loves Mary J. Blige. She's seen her in concert, and obviously, Snoop Dogg is like music. I probably consider his music timeless at this point.
Yeah,
he himself is timeless.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those. It's never moved me one way or the other. It's one of those like I know people who love Snoop Dogg's music. Mine's just it's okay. It's never done anything for me.
I mean, like I said, I'm not a huge rap guy, so I love his music, but I respect it.
Oh yeah, I respect it 100%. It's like, is it my favorite? No. Is it something I'll listen to? Say if it's on the radio, sure. But is it something I seek out or anything? No. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm glad they started with Snoop Dogg because then afterwards it kept getting better and better. And then having 50 Cent there, that was a nice surprise and stuff as well. I'm surprised he did his pole routine as well. Like I'm legitimately surprised he did that with his age and everything. So kudos to him. But I think my favorite part outside of Eminem, like coming out in the explosion of the set piece itself was really neat. I really liked the set piece. I was like, what are we looking at as it started? But it immediately grew on me of, oh, this is really neat how everything is set up. I like the set piece. Lamar having his choreography was fantastic. Like whatever he planned for that with his band, essentially, fantastic. Holy moly, fantastic. And then like you said, Mary Jane, she was fantastic. Eminem was great. I was trying to think anything else. I'm surprised they didn't allow a lot of the crowd on the field. I know COVID protocols and everything. I'm still surprised at that. But it was a good one. I said it was the best one in my opinion since Katy Perry and her writing Voltron. That was fantastic.
And Left Shark.
And Left Shark. Cannot forget Left Shark. And I enjoyed Lady Gaga as well. But this was the best one. I cracked the joke as before you got on, Justin, where I'm like, I just have to admit it now. I'm in that age bracket where they now make the Super Bowl halftime shows unironically for my age group because we know the songs. And it's like, oh. It's not like it's not they're inviting it because of it's popular, like say Britney Spears was or NSYNC was. No, they did it because it's like, yeah, you're the age group. We're marketing this, guys. Excuse me, tonight. I did have to laugh though, Justin. The one thing I listened to the next morning on the radio, and I was in stitches. Apparently, and we'll see how much the rumor is on it. So who knows? But apparently, the NFL told Eminem not to knee, and they told Dr. Dre to I guess tone it back on his police lyrics on his music, and they both did it anyway. I'm like, wait, so you're telling the guys who, mind you, the NFL did not pay them at all to do halftime show. That came all out of Dr. Dre's personal fund. You're telling them to not do the thing when their entire gig for the past 20 years plus has been to defy authority. Okay, let's just see how this goes. On it, and I just laughed on it. Like it was so dumb of them to do that. I'm like, it's not harming their reputation at all to do that. Like, if anything, it's gonna add more people to it because they defied authority and did it, if it's true. So I cracked up at that. So Justin, we covered Super Bowl a little bit. Was there any plays or anything? I will say, let's talk about two things from the game. First one, bro, Bengals got away with a offensive pass interference that should have been called. I didn't know you could just tackle a guy and just not get it. I'm just having PTSD.
So you didn't like it? You didn't like they did call a penalty where friggin' Higgins almost ripped his head off and broke his neck?
I know, right? Like, what are you refs looking at, dudes? Like, I bitch and moan and gripe about how bad some of the calls have been against OU all year, but I'm like, guys, what the hell? Like, it happened in front of you. How?
Yeah, and I don't even like Jalen Ramsey for when he was a Jaguar since I'm a Titans fan.
Yeah. So like, even then, it's like, bro, like you got to throw that flag. You got to throw that flag. And then the other one was what's it called? I'm gonna type this really fast so I don't forget it. Was the last 2 minutes
and
when
it's gone.
No, it's not gone. I got it. The last 2 minutes of the Bengals play calling, man. Like, I don't understand what their play calling was, especially that last one where they gave it to Samaje. Mixon had the hot hand, and you gave it to a guy who only had it for maybe one carry the entire game prior to that. I don't understand why they went away from Mixon for that. I don't understand why they went away from Burrow. I thought that was stupid play calling. Like, I feel like they were playing to tie and not playing to win, to at least tie, to go into overtime. What's your thoughts?
I don't know. The play call did get pretty. I don't know. It wasn't that great near the end. I'm not sure how to describe it, but not good.
Mm-mm.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Speaking of that as well, that's where I was like, I feel like some of that was also as a result of the refs. I feel like the refs really did influence this game because they let them play the entire game, and then it seemed like the last 2 minutes, flags everywhere. And I'm like, guys, if you're gonna let them play, you've established you're letting them play. Let them play. What's the issue now? I don't understand. It was, to me, that was bad. That was very, very bad refereeing at that point. Speaking of Super Bowl, Justin, what food did you have on Sunday? Anything of note?
Let's see. My friend's dad, he grilled some burgers. Let's see. Yeah, it's like those little like game day weenie things. Mozzarella sticks.
Little Smokies.
Little Smokies. That's it. Smokies. Yeah. He made some snickerdoodle cookies. He made some homemade ice cream.
Nice.
Some little bit of grilled chicken. Some hand cut fries. Yeah.
Nice. So I had the only thing I had on it, and I was very disappointed because I keep forgetting every Super Bowl Sunday, my dude, is they turn off online ordering. I went to Wingstop and got a variety of wings, just basically a buffet of wings. That was it. I got your standard plain first off, because that's the easiest one. Hawaiian barbecue or Hawaiian hickory barbecue, the garlic parmesan.
Good.
There was 2 more.
Lemon pepper.
And which one?
Lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper. Yep. And there was 1 more.
Let's see. I like Louisiana rub. That one's good.
I didn't get that one. I never get anything too spicy, just because it doesn't agree with my stomach.
So mild teriyaki.
Mild. That was it. Mild. Yeah, that was it. Mild was good. So, but I made the mistake. So the first one was then the second one was I was thinking boneless, except I forgot to say boneless. So color me shocked when I got home, and it's like, wait, no, I messed up already. That was twice. I'm like, this ain't good. But yeah, they were good. But just had a nice little selection. I got 10 of each with it, so I had dinner till like tomorrow night at this point. So I enjoyed it. It was good food. Good food. I didn't have any soda or anything like that, just because I dropped soda a couple years back. So mostly water, flavored water.
I really need to do that.
Once you get past the hurdle, man, it is so much easier from it. I'm glad I dropped soda and I do my water, or I've always on stream I'll show like my peach flavored water at that point. So, but yeah, I had my traditional food. Just trying to think anything else. Let's talk let's talk fantasy a little bit. Let's talk that, and then we'll swing back around to the regular season. Just kind of talk of it as a whole. Fantasy, Justin, how did you feel this year about fantasy football and being gracing me gracing your presence with the champion right here, the champion, because I have not been able to do that all season long. So what did you think of Fancy? How did you enjoy it this year, especially for your first time of making it into the playoffs?
Well, it's progress, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it came. I think, in my opinion, it literally came to, can your team make it through to the end? Not just injuries, but COVID and everything. It seemed like everybody but Andrew and I, that happened. Someone had an injury, somebody had COVID, someone did something really dumb. And that's just what happened at that point. And or some people just drew the unlucky straw with their seating and everything like that with it. But were you overall satisfied this year? Was there any highlights that you could remember? Anything that stood out to you? Anything you're looking forward to next season?
Nothing at the top of my head really sticks out highlight wise, but yeah, I look forward to next year. I mean, why not?
It's addictive, isn't it? Once you start figuring out the system, once you start figuring out the points, the strategy, it's fun. It's like chess or shogi. Once you figure it out, it's very, very different. What about I'm trying to think. Anything else of note from Fancy or anything for you from it? Was there things that you were just like, I wish I could have done better? Besides like winning it all, things like that. Was there something where you're like, man, I wish I could have picked this guy up? Do you regret drafting Chubb?
Yes, I do.
I think you saved my season by you drafting Chubb. I really do. I really believe you saved my season for it because it let me get Kamara. Oh my gosh! Speaking of Kamara, do we know any more details on his stuff? Because I'm like, bro, he may not be in the league next year if it's bad enough.
No, they really gone quiet about it. It's so weird how they let him play the Pro Bowl at all. You saw the charges came out, but they let him play the Pro Bowl. Then right after the game, then they arrested him.
Absolutely. Maybe they were just trying to figure out more to the case and everything, and it was coincidence. That's what I hope it was, but who knows? Now that being said, what about so was there any highlights though from that using Fancy as kind of the template at this point? Was there anything from the regular season or the postseason that you really, really enjoyed on things because of highlights? There's so many things that happened during the NFL this year. There was the there was Henry getting injured. There was Aaron Rodgers and his lying with the COVID, which like showed most of the players in the league weren't vaccinated, and that led to another debacle at that point. There was, I think it was Ruggs with his hit and run. There was the Bengals. There was the controversial call with it was playoff. I'm trying to remember it. There was a playoff one that was controversial. Like, what did you think overall of the season, just in general?
I mean, you pretty much put the nail on the head. It's a little bit of everything, honestly.
What else did I miss from it at that point? I guess. Well, let me put it this way: what was your favorite games this year? Ones that were like definitely tuned in. Was there any surprises? I'll put it that way. Oh, Brady retiring. That was a big surprise. I'm surprised he's surprised that he retired.
Yeah, because especially since he was so productive.
I think he still had a couple more years in him, to be honest. But I got to give him kudos, man. Like, he went out on his terms. He didn't get injured. He didn't have a scandal. Like, dude was pretty solid. There was that. There was Tom Brady. I'm surprised at that. Were you surprised that Kansas City didn't make it into the Super Bowl?
A little bit, yeah. Especially when they led 21-3, and then as the lead was going down, and once the Bengals tied, I was like, oh god, they're going full read again.
Speaking of that, what did you think of Matthew Stafford or is the Detroit Lions in shambles right now, knowing they could have just gotten more talent and won one?
No, I think they're still in a good spot right now. They have a coach that they really like to play for. They got some young talent. As long as they continue to draft well, they can like if they actually push the right buttons, they can at least be pretty entertaining team. I mean the NFC North may potentially soon be up for grabs if everything falls apart with Green Bay, and like they have like literally all the receivers are free agents, and so is Aaron Rodgers. So they still got a lot of things to figure out on their end. In fact, I have a video up in my on my Google Chrome. I'm gonna watch after our live stream to see what this Packers fan did. Tom Grossi thinks about what they should do.
Gotcha. So okay, what I can't think of if other headlines come to me as we're talking. I'll bring it up. But what are you looking forward to? Okay, let's start off. Fantasy wise, what are you looking forward to? What's your goals for next year? Fantasy wise, obviously, probably to make it to the playoffs again.
Yeah, just making the playoffs again. After that, it's pretty much a crapshoot. So yeah, pretty much just making the playoffs.
Any player you're hoping to get next year or anything like? Was there anything you learned during fantasy this year, like something that you didn't before?
Hmm.
Well, let me ask you this. This ties into it. I know I'm bouncing around the whole lot with it, but we're recapping everything. We got a lot of time. Did your strategy that you had on draft day work throughout the season, or did it fall apart at some?
It kind of fell apart near the end, mostly due to injuries, but COVID. But it happened to everybody.
Correct. I can say for my strategy, it worked out because my strategy was to get a tight end as early as possible, and getting Mandrews when Kittle, what's his name, and oh gosh, I'm forgetting guys because I don't pay attention enough to the NFL. For it went out. He was the only guy that was producing, and he had a rough 2 weeks in the beginning, and then he just went off on everybody. Like there was one, Justin, where it was they were comparing, and I have it up, and I need to find it. Here it is. For the winners of the leagues, these were the players that you had to have. So take a guess. Who do you think was the best quarterback that you could have picked up for this year? Just take a guess.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Can you ask that question one more time?
So I have a thing up that was like, if you won your fantasy league, these were the players that typically was on everybody's team, roughly-ish, 1 or 2 players, sometimes 3 or more, depending on how you drafted. Who do you think was the quarterback that mostly everybody had
this year?
Mm-hmm.
What
the
conference?
One who was making point. Conference, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, you don't know where we would be make too obvious.
Yeah, it would make it too obvious. Yeah.
My first guess would probably he got off to a rough start, so probably not him.
Who do you think? Who? Throw it out there.
I was gonna say Mahomes, but he got caught off to a rough start this year.
Yeah, no, Mahomes is actually not the one. No.
Is it Joe Burrow?
It is. Joe Burrow was the one
who
was the quarterback. Yeah. So going down onto this, they said Joe Burrow may not have been on as many teams who made the playoffs, but the managers won their big games 17% of the time when he was on the roster. Burrow was white hot at the perfect time, posting 85.7 total fantasy points over the final 3 weeks of the fantasy season, the highest point total among all season play callers. So not surprised there. Now we're going to go to the next one, running back. This one should be a very obvious one.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yep, Jonathan Taylor. And I think it's because since Henry got injured, Jonathan Taylor just shot up. Yep.
Dude, the dude got like 51 points against the Bills.
Yeah. Dude was a monster. Luckily that wasn't against either of us. That was one of those. Yeah, that sucks being on that end. What about? I think I mentioned it. Tight end. You know who that is because I mentioned it. It was Mark Andrews. Kelsey. Kelsey and Kittle. They were out. That's why Mark Andrews was the best one.
Yeah, I originally drafted Kittle, but he was on IR for a long time, so I had to drop him.
Yeah. So here's the next one. Now here's the hard one, Justin. They don't mention defenses and they don't mention kickers.
Okay.
They do have three, count it 3 wide receivers. Who are the 3 you think?
I'm just see if I can get at least one of them.
Oh, you'll get one of them for sure. I think you'll get 2 and you won't know the third one.
My first guess for one of them be Jamar Chase.
No, surprisingly not.
Okay. Let me see. We got thrown to a lot. Hang on. I'm going through my head. I'm just going by division.
Oh, you're fine. I had to check something really fast. Anyway. There's 3 of them. There's 3 wide receivers.
I'm just trying to think of receivers I got thrown to a lot. And let's see, Odell hardly ever got thrown to at all in Cleveland.
And he was injured.
And he was injured. Let's see.
We'll circle back around to that one too. I have that. I want your thoughts on that one too.
Yeah, nobody in AFC South because AJ Brown was out a good amount of games. So I know it's not him.
And he threw a temper tantrum. No, that was Antonio Brown.
That was Antonio Brown.
That was the headline too, Justin. That we forgot about him throwing the temper tantrum and basically saying, "I'm done."
Yeah, that was a thing. How about Tyreek Hill?
No, Tyreek Hill is not. Didn't mention him though, but they said he is not it.
Okay. Okay, let me think about NFC. Is it anybody the Cowboys?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I don't think so. I will. No, it's nobody from the Cowboys.
Okay. Nobody else would be that division. How about Deebo Samuel?
Yes, that's actually the one I did not think you were going to get. Yes, he was number 3 for it, and they said he was whoever got him was an absolute steal because they said the dude picked up points. And I will tell you, Justin, I had Mark Andrews and Deebo won it for me, in my opinion, because he acted as a running back.
Okay, I have another guess.
Sure.
Cooper Kupp.
Yep, that's the number 1, and I don't know for the league because I'm still inputting stats and I'm trying to get all that together. But they said for fantasy overall, he was the MVP this year, which I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl. Dude could not be covered. So dude was good. Who do you think? You might be able to get number 3.
Devontae Adams.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, let's go.
Congrats, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, those were the 3, and they said. So the thing was, they said Tyreek Hill was a part of it, but then what's his name? Cooper Kupp just went off, and there was no catching up. So yeah, no, you were spot on most of them for it, but yeah, they mentioned that. Now I'm going to ask you the other ones. I want to see. I'm going to really test your knowledge. What do you think about rookies? What do you think of the rookies ones that were the standouts for this year?
Jamar Chase, obviously.
Hold on. Let me go back really fast. So here it was. So Kupp and Woods were the ones that were the standouts, but where Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill were. But because Kupp was just amazing, they said like there was no anything. Oh, and the reason why Jonathan Taylor did good was because Christian McCaffrey has kind of went down in production. They said. Let's see.
He's always hurt.
Yeah. Oh, now who did you mention for the rookies?
Jamar Chase.
Yep, Jamar Chase, definitely. He was the wide receiver. They definitely mentioned him. So there's another the most I'm going to give you is there's 2 more wide receivers and a running back. Those are the ones that are left. That are rookies that stood out in fantasy.
Okay. 2 wide receivers and a running back. Okay.
Yeah. You've got some good ones. I'm proud of you on those 3 wide receivers. Like, that was good. I did not expect you truly to get Deebo. I thought you were not going to say that one, but I'm surprised. And like I said, I had both him and Mark Andrews, and I really do believe that is why I won the league this go around. And I have a story for you after that, too. I'm going to actually type that as well with it as we're discussing it. And also while we're discussing it, Justin, I'm going to type this in really fast. If anybody wants to hop in with us and talk NFL or anything, there's only one person watching, but if they want to hop in, let's invite them in. Let's throw fantasy football at them. Let's throw NFL at them with it. So
what is Elijah Mitchell a rookie?
Elijah Mitchell?
I don't know if he was a rookie or not.
Let me. Yeah, he was a rookie.
Okay. But
are you going to say him?
Yeah, was he the running back?
Yep, you are 2 for 4 right now.
Oh, I couldn't remember he was a rookie. That's my question. Okay, so now I got 2 wide receivers. Okay, okay, go back to AFC. Let's see. Oh, what about for the? How about Waddle?
Who?
Waddle for the Dolphins. I forgot his first name.
Say his name.
Jalen Waddle.
Yep. You are 3 for 4. You are 3 for 4, my dude. So you got Jalen Waddle, you got Elijah Mitchell, and then you have Jamar Chase. There is one more who was a standout rookie this year.
Okay.
You're doing good, man. You are doing fantastic.
I'm probably gonna feel stupid when I think of it. Well, I probably forgot he's a rookie.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'm like, bro, you pretty much have guessed everybody, but the tight end from the big one with it, because I outright said it was Mark Andrews. You missing one to me is not a big deal.
Let's see.
Do you give up?
Not yet. I'm getting there, but not quite yet.
Okay. You might get it. You might not. That's what I'm curious on. I'm curious to see if you're going to catch it.
There's Tony Barely plays. I know it's not him.
Who?
Kadarius Tony Barely played, so that's I know it's not him. And Jerry Jones sucks.
Yeah. He's not a rookie.
I might be able to get it if you tell me the conference, but without giving it away.
You still try to get it, but do you want the hint?
Okay, you give me a hint.
NFC.
NFC, okay.
NFC.
Okay. Let's see, he was in the second. Now that was the second. Let's see, no, he's not rookie.
Do you give up?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I just
Go
ahead.
I was going to say, while you're thinking on it, what is your thoughts? Not to interrupt your thinking process on it, but what is your thoughts on OBJ winning Super Bowl? Do you like that he won it? There was a lot of controversy of people really didn't want him winning because of how much he threw temper tantrums this year.
No, I didn't mind him. I honestly blamed Baker a little bit more. No offense, because I felt like he could have thrown. It felt like a lot of the balls I've seen him throw towards Odell were off. But yeah, I think Odell could have handled himself a bit better. I think it's a side with both parties at fault, honestly.
I'm of the opinion of I'm not mad that he won the Super Bowl because, like I said, I'm so indifferent on NFL for that. It is what it is, but I felt like he got grumpy because he wasn't part of the game plan. And it's like, bro, if you're not part of the game plan, it's like, to me, if there's a better player on the team like a Cooper Kupp, sorry, dude, you're going to be second because you're injured all the time. It's not about
does the last wide receiver play for the Lions?
Yes.
St. Brown.
Yep, you are right.
Boom.
With a hint, you got all of them, my dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're my NFL dude. You got it. So yeah, those were the rookies and stuff as well. And they said people who had them. Yeah, it was different. Now going back to OBJ, I think it's a lot of it. Sure, he wasn't part of the game plan, but at the same time, if you're not performing, my dude, there's only so much the team can do. Do I blame Baker? Maybe a little bit. I blame more the coach of the game planning with it, but I think OBJ was just he was upset with it. And even then, he wasn't doing anything different at the Rams than he was at Cleveland. Though, to be fair, I think it was better for both parties for them to leave. I think it was better for OBJ to leave the Cleveland Browns, and it improved for both sides at that point. I don't think it would have improved otherwise. Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? What do you think?
I can agree with that.
Now what about we're about what 2 months off and some change from the NFL draft. Who do you think is going to be going in the NFL draft? Excuse me.
Let's see. I know this is not a very good quarterback draft.
No, it's actually. Let's go back. Is there any teams that surprised you did not make it to the playoffs this year, or were just one and done like the Cowboys? I think a lot of people were surprised with the Cowboys until hindsight went, yeah, they didn't really have a good offense.
Is there some of these teams that surprised me that is underachieving the playoffs?
That basically crapped out. Yeah.
I have a team that should surprise me that they underachieved the playoffs, but I'm kind of used to it, and that'd be the Titans. I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah, that's fair on it. I mean, the Titans have the talent and they have the leadership. It's the coaching. It is absolutely the coaching.
No, it's not Vrabel. It's Downing. We have he's the offensive coordinator. It's just been really bad play calling.
Yeah. What okay, so there was that. What about Justin. What about teams that surprised you? Was there anything that surprised you?
Well, Cincinnati.
Well, yeah, that's fair. I'm bummed for them that they didn't get it, but
aside from them though, not to be a complete smart ass, aside from them, let me see. Let's see. Oh, I'd say aside from them, the biggest surprise to me was the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree with you. The 49ers definitely were a surprise.
Honestly, they made it all the way to the NFC title game, and they barely made the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Trying to think anything else, Justin.
Oh no. Oh, you know what? That well, I'm not. I know the biggest burnout, the biggest fail in the postseason. It's gotta be Green Bay.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. I think Green Bay.
It's gotta be Green Bay.
Do you think that's less Green Bay or more Aaron Rodgers because he didn't want to be there at that point? And it's just like, let's just lose at this point, especially with public backlash.
I don't know, because it seemed like at the beginning of the game when they got that overdrive touchdown, it looked like it was going to go to be a blowout. Then just everything aside from everything offensively just fiddled out. Their defense played great, but honestly, it was the defense played as best as they could. It was mostly the offensive line and special teams that screwed them over.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. It was like, yeah, I'm trying to think anybody else success. But now that being said. We talked a little bit about OBJ, Antonio Brown. He's out of the league. NFL draft. Who are you looking forward to?
Oh gosh, NFL draft. I would need to see more of the combine. I've really been paying attention to too many prospects. I mean, I heard a little bit about that really good defensive back that's coming out of Michigan. It's supposed to be #1 overall.
What's his name? Yeah. Don't forget Perion Winfrey. He dominated at the Reese's Bowl, man, or the Reese's game. What a monster!
Alpha Pokemon.
Who it was a shiny?
No, it's an alpha Pokemon. It's an alpha Pokemon. I'm hiding from.
Oh, which alpha Pokemon?
Lopunny.
Oh! One of the jokingly mommy Pokemon. So it was the running back. What's his name? Well, no, now they're saying right now, Justin, they're saying it's going to be Evan Neal out of Alabama. He's going to be #1.
What position is he?
Offensive tackle.
Oh, okay.
They're saying his name is Adrian. No, Edge. Detroit Lions would be Michigan. Adrian Hutchinson. Is I think maybe who you're thinking of?
Maybe.
Because I don't see a running back from.
Hey, I caught it. Nice.
From Michigan. He's not. I don't see anybody. It's very much O-line and defensive guys. Oh, I got one for you, Justin. We haven't talked about the Washington Commanders.
Meh.
What do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like? What's your thoughts?
Snore.
Honestly, they should have just stuck with the Washington football team. And hear me out.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to say my reason on live stream anyway. Hear me out.
Go ahead.
How neat would it have been to have the European style name one time for one football team and just make it the national team? Because it's not a state. It makes sense to do something like that. And I know city like Miami, Dallas, I get it, but it's not a united state. It's just the nation capital. Let them be different. In my opinion, that would have been neat. But I'm also of the other side of it. So what about you though?
Well, to me, I'm just like basically with a lot of other people. I just thought that they named the Commander kind of the same feel I have for the Cleveland Guardians. It's just a boring name.
Yeah, but I mean, they had to move on from it at some point with it. With the exception of Florida State and Utah, like they didn't have pacts with their tribes. They had to move on from it with it. I mean, yeah, it's a bad look otherwise. But that was a big thing. Though I do give credit, Justin, to the person who had the drone and caught the office reflection and found out the name like 12 hours before. Kudos to that dude. Like, more power to him. Just like I cracked the joke to my dad. I called him the morning of. I'm like, Dad, I think I'm in the wrong profession. Why do you think that, son? Well, I think I could have came up with that NFL team because all I had to do was load in my copy of Madden NFL 2021 and just put a randomized team name. I think I could have came up with that for $4 million. I'm just saying, Justin, we're in the wrong professions. We're doing something wrong, my dude. Let's see. Now, for NFL draft, this is what they have right now, Justin. Adrian Hutchinson to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a defensive end out of Michigan. That's number one. Number two is going to be Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end out of Oregon to the Detroit Lions. Number three, the prediction is Evan Neal, offensive tackle out of Alabama. Number four is going to be Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame to the New York Jets. And then number five would be Ikem Ikwanu. I hope I'm saying it right. I know I butcher names. I'm sorry. Offensive tackle out of North Carolina State to the Giants. The rest of them would be like Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State. David Ojabo, offensive linebacker out of Michigan. Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback out of LSU. Nakobe Dean, inner linebacker out of Georgia, and then Drake London, wide receiver, the first one out of USC. That's the first offensive player. This is not a good offensive class, if we're being honest. There's not a lot of good offensive guys that I can think of. It's very defense minded.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Do you not? Do you think that?
Honestly,
is there a reason for that? I guess.
Honestly, don't really know a whole lot about this class. This is usually around the time I start to learn about some of these processes since the season's over, and I still got like 3 months until the draft.
Yeah, well, and that's the funny part.
2 months.
Justin,
2 months.
Where I'm
2
like,
months. 2 months.
Since we started doing this live streams and stuff for our fantasy stuff, as well as just NFL, it's kind of different because I'm learning about recruiting, and recruiting's kind of the same way where it's like now in the NFL, you see where they're going. What do these teams need? What are they losing? Recruiting's the same way, man, where it's like recruiting's all over the place. Like, here's my question for you. The Titans pick supposedly, which is very weird because you would think the Titans have a much higher pick, but if it's correct, they get the 31st pick. So I guess because of trading, their predicted trade is to get Kyler Gordon, a cornerback out of Washington. Do you know anything about him?
I do not know.
I don't either. I don't. There's just not names. Like, there's none. Like, it is. I guess it is what it is. But man, there's just no names, my dude. I was trying to see if there was anything else like for the Titans. Trying to bring up something because, like, again, I don't really pay attention to or maybe the Titans already traded because I'm not even seeing the Titans And here it is. Yeah, Nakobe Dean is who they're expected to pick by 26 for out of Georgia for the first round. I don't see anything else at the moment. I don't see. Oh, here it goes. Here's round 2. That's what about? Do you know anything about? Nope. Click. Nope. There's nothing there because they traded their round pick, so the Titans don't even get anybody out of that. What about? Do you know anything about Jeremy Ruckert out of Ohio State? He's a tight end. Do you know anything about him?
Not really, no. Though I doubt there'd be anybody's good down the line, but the Titans are able to trade up at all. I think they need to focus on offensive line.
Yeah, I agree. The problem is those they just don't have any picks in these first 3 rounds. Outside of that first round, it's like, yikes, dude. Like, y'all got problems with it. Side note, you know what documentary series I am watching right now that I'm really enjoying?
What?
Did you get a chance to watch The Last Dance?
Yeah.
I love The Last Dance right now. It's really good. I've been watching it. It's just on my.
I've seen the whole series twice. I might watch it.
Like
I might watch this again soon.
The way they build everything up, like we're going to talk about Michael Jordan in the first part while talking about the season. Then we're going to talk about Scottie Pippen. Then we're going to talk about Dennis Rodman. I love how they did this, how everything played into it. I don't know what episode 4 is even going to be about with it. Maybe the coaching, maybe the ownership. It's good. I have not seen it, but I've been sitting and watching it. I've really enjoyed it. I like documentaries though and reading. So, but yeah, I got a story for you, Justin, for fantasy. So, do you know how I won the fantasy game, the championship game? Andrew told it to me. So, in the finals, and this is something we're going to have to discuss next year because I realized we actually ended a week early because they added that extra year. It's actually going to be in our league survey on it because you know what I'm thinking about doing, Justin? That throws off our stuff because as it is right now, as we have it, we have a 16-week season. And how do I want to say this? Everything works out perfectly with our 3 or 4 team with 3-man team pods, and then playing everybody but the people you were on a pod with one time with it. It's worked out perfectly so far, right? Well, adding a 17th game to that just throws everything out. So you know what I'm thinking? If the league is okay with it, why not make the championship game 2 weeks?
Why not?
It gives you a chance and it's fair. So, but no, here's my story. So championship week happened. Okay. I was watching Spider-Man with Andrew and I was flipping out because I'm like, oh, Josh, he's going to beat me. He's going to come and beat me. Like he's going to get within, I think he only needed like 5 points to beat me. Okay. He only got like 3.5. And I flipped out. I'm like, I'm in the finals. This is fantastic. Lord Zed versus Kylo Ren in the finals for our villain. For all of y'all who are watching who didn't know, we did a villain theme this year. I totally went with the Power Ranger villain, Lord Zed. And he went with the dark side of the Force. I'm like, oh, who's going to win? The Space Warlock or the Dark Space Wizard? Who knows at this point? But I started already cracking jokes. I'm like, well, guys, time to unleash Serpentera. Let's do it. But so I was flipping out. That's the first time I made it to the finals ever at that point. So now that all being said, Justin, final week, I had my lineup. I set everything ready to go. And I'm going to fancy. There it is. I had everything ready to go. Everything was set up. And then we played the games and everything. And I won, right? It was very close. And it came down to like, at a point, I didn't know if I wanted to start Alvin Kamara because I was already up by 5 points. And I'm like, I don't really know if I want to risk negative points or anything because it's this close. So I benched him, right? Didn't think anything of it for it. And instead of playing Kamara for it, it was, where was it? Instead of playing, I didn't play Justin Jackson. That's what it was. It would have came down to Kamara or Justin Jackson. And I went with Kamara. Justin Jackson got 26 points out of running back, and it drove me nuts. But it was like, okay, whatever. I still had Kamara. Kamara only got 5 points, okay? So it wasn't like I was losing out. So here's the thing. So Andrew lost because he started the New England defense over Buffalo that got -1 points over instead of starting Philadelphia, because he took Philadelphia in our free agency, right? Well, I saw Andrew. You know what happened? And I would have lost. He got food poisoning, and he had every other person in the lineup set up except for Philadelphia. He forgot to put Philadelphia in, and by sheer luck, I won. That is what happened. And I'm like, bro, you know what sucks? If he wouldn't have set his lineup at all, I would have told him, let's change it up. I understand food poisoning. I'm more than happy to take second place at that point with it, because that's real life. Real life happens on that. However, because he set those other teams or the other players in the lineup, it wouldn't be fair to anybody else at that point. I think everyone in the league would have been okay with him doing that if he didn't switch anybody out at all and said, I had food poisoning with this. This was bad. I wouldn't have had an issue with it. I don't think you would have either. I can't speak for you though. But because he did put those players in, I couldn't do it. I'm like, oh, that's a one team. And how many times have we've all had that regret? I can't. And he was cool about it. He wasn't upset or anything. He didn't even ask for it. I'm just like, oh, I'm already thinking of this. But that's how I won, Justin. It was luck. Luck won it. It was not skill. It was luck. It was my own mistake that I should have started Justin Jackson. I think it was Justin Jackson. Yeah. I should have started him over Kamara, then there wouldn't have been any issue at that point. But he also should have put Philadelphia in when he put the lineup in with everybody else at that point. So, but that is how I won the league. I won the league because he bought apparently bad deli meat from a grocery store. Delegate, my dude. Delegate. And he cracked the joke where he's like, yep, you played 4D chess and had me have bad deli meat. And I'm like, dude, you're giving me way too much credit. That's saying I'm smart, and I am not. So, but yeah, that's how I won, Justin, by sheer dumb luck. And I'll take it. That's half the game. As I've said, in my view, when you're playing a competitive game, 80% of it's luck, 20% of it's, or 80% of it's skill, 20% of it's luck. You cannot take luck out of the game, though. It's like Pokemon. You can't take the critical hits out of the game. The critical hits are a part of the game with it. That's your luck factor. And you can team build and everything. That critical hit may completely destroy your strategy, though. So, but yeah, that's how I won, buddy. But yeah, that's why tonight I'm titled Emperor OU Flag Guy. I haven't got to use it really with it because I was waiting till into Super Bowl. So what else is on your mind, Justin? Anything else on your mind with NFL, fantasy football? What are you looking forward to with the NFL draft or next season? Anything like that? What? Anything on your mind?
I'm more looking forward to NFL free agency.
What do you think's gonna? Let's talk about that then. What do you think is going to happen in NFL free agency?
Well, there's a lot that can happen because, like I said, Green Bay has all their free agents. It does make you wonder what the Buccaneers are going to do because they don't really have a backup plan from after Brady.
Yeah, they're hurting right now.
And they're already in cap hell, apparently, so then they could be able to keep a lot of their defense.
Yeah. What about what else? What else for free agency? Anything? Do you expect any major movements or anything at this point?
I also wonder what the Cowboys might do because they're gonna have a lot of free agents and they're over the cap.
Yeah. Well, that's the stuff I don't know on, man. It's all free agency and like how it all plays into it, like the NFL, who's going to trade up, who's going to do all that. Are you looking forward to the NFL draft just in general? Do you stay home and watch that one on the first round?
I usually
do anything special? Okay. So you'll be doing like me, is probably have some food set up and then have like Pokemon going and then watch the NFL draft.
Yeah, that's what I usually do.
Yeah, that's about right. Do you expect any here's one. Do you expect any coaching changes for going into next season on any
there's already been a bunch already, so I don't really expect there to be I don't really expect them to be many more anymore. Like the Vikings got a new coach, the Giants got a new coach, the the Saints just hired in house. The Dolphins got a new coach. That's the biggest controversy of the offseason, honestly. About what's his face getting fired? Brian Flores getting fired. The Texans got a new coach. I honestly felt like I honestly felt like the Texans hiring Lovie Smith was like the way for almost like a face saving move, even though he's already with the organization.
Yeah. Well, so pretty much a fourth of the league at this point, man, is getting coaches. If that's right. I mean, what, you named off 6 right there, if I'm correct. Right? Am I off?
I think I named 6. Maybe. Another situation, another team to look out for in offseason is Indy, because I've been hearing rumors that they're either either trade or cut Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah, I did see that. That is some stuff to look forward to. You know what? I'll bring it up really fast. NFL, what to watch for. I'm going to see if there's anything else coming up. No, there's not. There's no anything like headlines or anything to expect. Drew Brees retired too. Can't forget that as well. He retired. So
right.
There's a lot of movement with it. We may be doing one of these like sometime, maybe May, probably for this. I think there's still a whole lot of NFL stuff to talk about, because that's going to impact fantasy, and that's also going to impact to me, the biggest impact it's going to have scoring wise outside of your quarterbacks and stuff. What's going to change, like the top probably 30 players that are gone. For us, it's the top 36. It's going to be those defenses. Those defenses are going to get more points at this point, in my opinion. I think defenses are starting to catch up a little bit. That being said, Justin, do you have any final thoughts or anything? Because I took a look at the score, and Memphis is only 3 points behind Portland right now. So I was going to let you go watch the game.
No final thoughts here.
Are you surprised that Grizz are coming back?
Just not trying to game back on. But
I'm sorry, 4 points.
Well, they shouldn't free throws. So they're probably about to be 5. But, Portland's about to shoot free throws. But I kind of figured the Grizzlies would make it close. I still wouldn't be surprised maybe they lost this game, but I'm glad they're at least fighting.
Yeah, and there's still 8 minutes left. And, that's something I've always wondered is, why does college basketball have 2 halves instead of 4 quarters like everybody else? NCAA is the only one who does that. I do not understand. But
hell, even doesn't like the women's have like 10 point quarters now?
I think so. I want to say yes, but I want to say no. I haven't paid attention to women's. So maybe. Oh, that's a good question. So we'll find out. Justin, I want to thank you for being my co-host for the entire Fantasy Football League this season, as well as coming on tonight on a special Wednesday night for talking about Super Bowl, talking about fantasy football a little bit postseason, kind of our surprises, kind of our disappointments, any stories or anything like that. I want to thank you for joining me for that. I think we're going to be doing this again next season. We'll work out the kinks a little bit, work out everything to make it a little more, not just about our fantasy group, but we could talk about some other stuff as well with it. But thank you again. I appreciate it. It's always good having someone on actually discussing stuff versus like talking into the void. The void is difficult. Woo, it is very difficult narrating to myself. I will tell you that now. But I want to thank everybody else who joined tonight as well. I saw a couple of y'all pop in and watch me and Justin talk about it for a good majority of the time. So again, I want to thank y'all for joining that. Justin, any plans for this weekend, for your 3-day weekend, if you get a 3-day weekend?
Why would I be getting 3 days? Oh, right. No, I don't get off for President's Day, but
the weekend, that's lame.
My friend does because he works for the government. But if the weather's good, I might play some disc golf.
Nice. One of my cities around in local area, they just opened. Well, it's in development. I say open, but they just got approved for an 18-hole disc golf course, and they're calling it like the Route 66 course. So it's going to be really neat once it opens up. So I'll have to forward you pictures and stuff once it is. So, but again, Justin, thank you for joining me not only tonight but throughout all the season. I hope you've had fun, not only talking about fantasy football and NFL, but also our pick'ems and stuff too. As we go over some of the games and stuff, all the stuff, you get to hear me rant about my Sooners at times or the refs. But I hope you had a lot of fun with it, and I look forward to doing it again later this year. Like we get a couple months off, and then we're back at it again in some capacity. So thank you again, buddy. I'm going to let you go. Thank you again, viewers tonight who popped in. Sunday, we will have a live stream, standard live stream with Sean talking. I think we're going to talk about OU basketball, and we're going to talk about OU softball, and then kind of just more local media stuff. This one is a very, very low-key week since the last 2 weeks ago that we've had stuff. But again, join us. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, hit the notification bell at the top, because again, when we go live, hey, you'll be able all to see that when you go live. And again, Justin, thank you one more time for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful evening, get to have a nice relaxing weekend, and I hope to see everybody on Sunday night for our usual time. Have a nice night, everybody.